What's going on, guys? I'm your host, Francis Beau, here to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on anything going on in the world of entertainment. Excuse me if you can't see me. I just set up the camera very quickly because some big news dropped. Technically not super big news for me because I already discussed this topic, but we're going to talk, give you like my final thoughts, basically, since this is now official. And that is that Disney has now officially bought 20th Century Fox. It has been confirmed. We talked about it once on my in a previous video. I'll put it on my cards somewhere, so you guys can go watch that because I had more detailed thoughts. In this video, I'm mainly going to tell you about some of the facts about this deal and talking about certain things that may or may not be affected due to this deal. So let's first start talking about the facts about this deal. What are the facts about Disney buying 20th Century Fox? Well, the first thing to note is that the transitions of all the Fox properties will take 18 months to do. So the deal transition will take 18 months. So this is not effective immediately, like everything's being thrown into Disney. It is going to take 18 months for all this stuff to be transferred. So basically like early or late 2019 is when you'll hear or see all the stuff officially placed into the Disney umbrella. So, and also the transition into like studios and all that stuff. So it'll take 18 months to do. The other thing that you should know is that Disney mainly bought out their television and film divisions. That's what they bought out. They didn't buy their sports or channels or anything like that. So if you guys are big sports fans, do not worry. They did not buy the Fox or the Fox News and all that. They didn't buy any of that stuff. In fact, that's what Fox is trying to embrace. They're trying to embrace their sports and news divisions while they sold off their television and film divisions to Disney. So there's that. And also, this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, but this is one of the biggest purchases in the entertainment industry. Disney bought out 20th Century Fox for $52 billion. That is insane. I don't know how much Lucasfilm was, but I'm pretty sure it was at least around that amount. And it's a big deal. 20th Century Fox is a huge company, so of course you expect a big chunk of money to be, a big purchase to be made to buy 20th Century Fox. And it is again, one of the biggest purchases in the entertainment industry. So, and the last fact that you should know about this deal is that the main reason why Disney bought 20th Century Fox was for their streaming properties, their streaming divisions, not X-Men, okay? We'll talk more about that later in this video, but just put it out there, the main reason why Disney bought Fox was because of their streaming services, not X-Men, okay? In fact, that's just a small reason why Disney wanted to buy 20th Century Fox. But anyway, let's get down to all the things that that 20th Century Fox is transferring to Disney, and that is the X-Men properties, a lot of the animated properties as well, streaming services, and also their television properties. We're going to talk about all the things that could potentially happen to some of these properties being transferred to Disney. So let's first start off with the one that's obvious, the one that everyone's going to be that you guys are going to ask me, and that is what's going to happen to the X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Deadpool properties. So I have two big things that there's two things that could potentially happen with the X-Men franchise in my head. The first thing is the obvious one. They could easily merge it with the MCU. That's the easiest thing that they can do. It's very, very simple. It's something that everybody's been wanting to see, and it would make sense considering how the Sony deal went with Spider-Man, how they transferred him into the MCU, so they could do the same thing with the X-Men. Now, the other option they can do with the X-Men franchise, and I personally would like to see this, and that is that let it be its own thing and remain the same. No merger with the MCU or reboot to the franchise, just leaving it as it is, but now being under Disney. That's what they can easily do. Because the X-Men continuity is not the greatest, and they haven't really alluded in each of their continuities about other beings out there or other mutants or anything. They didn't do that in the MCU or in the X-Men universe because they've never established the fact that there's more people out there. it would make sense on a continuity level, and also I think that it would just be more safe if it was just separate, but under one rule. If you know what I'm saying. So, which then leads me to the next point, and that is what will happen to R-rated content that Fox owns. Now, Bob Iger, who is the Disney CEO, today recently just put out a statement about R-rated Marvel movies potentially being joined up with the MCU or just R-rated Marvel movies in general. Here's what he had to say in a tweet. He said, "There may be an opportunity for an R-rated Marvel brand as long as we let audiences know what's coming." So that's what Bob Iger said. So for all Marvel fans who love the R-rated films like Deadpool, Logan, the new ones coming out, the New Mutants, X-Men Dark Phoenix. Well, X-Men Dark Phoenix is not rated R, but you know, that could be rated R. Who knows? Deadpool 2. Bob Iger is saying that there is a possibility that they could make a brand new Marvel brand that is just strictly rated R. So that is a big possibility. I could see that happening, but at the same time, it depends on how Marvel Studios and Disney handles the X-Men franchise as a whole. If X-Men ends up being merged with the MCU, then this R-rated Marvel brand will probably never happen. But if they allow the X-Men just to be their own thing and still have their same continuity with the same characters that we know and love, then this R-rated Marvel brand may actually happen. Now, the other thing that they can do with the other R-rated content that they have besides Marvel, like Alien, Predator, they could just potentially just make a separate studio for these Fox properties, and just maybe the other Fox properties in general, like Planet of the Apes, and many other properties that they have. They can easily just put it into a separate studio for them. Kind of like how Marvel has their own studios, like Marvel Studios. Potentially, maybe Fox can get their own studio within the Disney umbrella. Like, maybe we can have, we have Walt Disney Pictures, we have Pixar, Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, and then we can maybe have a Fox Studios. It's highly possible. Because how Disney has worked so far is that they have allowed each of their companies to do their own thing, but they're still getting the profits. That's how it basically works with Disney. Is that they still are getting profits from each of the companies that they own. However, they don't try to, do Disney-fy it, if you know what I'm saying. They allow the studios to do their own thing, like Star Wars, Marvel. They allow them to do their own things, but when it comes to profits, box office-wise, Disney gets the money. So they can easily make it into a separate studio. I think that would be a great thing for the Alien and Predator franchise, and also Planet of the Apes. But at the same time, maybe they might just leave them as they are. Who knows? Again, it really depends on how they handle the R-rated content. And keep in mind, we are in the very early stages of this deal. This deal just broke today. So we'll see what happens with R-rated content. That's something that I'm very, very interested in. The next thing that we have to discuss is what will happen to Blue Sky Studios. If you guys are not aware, let me pull it up just now so I can make sure I fact check myself. Blue Sky Studios are the same people that are responsible for giving you Ice Age, Rio, the Peanuts movie, and also this weekend's upcoming Ferdinand. So here are two things that could happen to Blue Sky Studios. They're either A, going to be merging with Pixar, so like all the properties that they have, like Ferdinand, Ice Age, they could potentially be turned into Pixar animation, or as I stated, they can potentially have their own studio, like have a separate studio for just strictly Fox animation. So, because it's highly possible. As I stated, Disney has established multiple studios within their own company. They have Lucasfilm, Marvel Studios, Miramax. They also have. So, for them to do maybe like a Fox Studios, a Fox animation studio as well, it's highly possible. It's very highly possible. I would love it if they did have their own separate studios. I don't think that Disney needs to combine Blue Sky Studios with Pixar, because I personally, I don't hate Blue Sky Studios, but I like their animation style is different from Pixar, and I just like how we can have two different types of animation produced on the big screen. So I'd rather have it be separate. Have a separate studio for Fox Animation, and don't merge it with Pixar. That's how I would picture it. All right, now let's get into the main reason why Disney bought 20th Century Fox, and that is the streaming services. What is going to happen to the streaming services? I'll tell you one thing. They're going to be gaining more control over Hulu. If you guys do not know, Hulu is I'm not sure who had more control over Hulu before Disney bought Fox. But now with the deal, Disney, from what I'm reading, roughly is going to be gaining 60% control over Hulu. So mainly Disney is going to be dominating and controlling Hulu. And there is potential for Disney to now, because think about it, Disney owning 60% of Hulu means that they mainly control a bunch of what's going to be happening in terms of streaming on Hulu, with like certain shows, maybe like exclusive content, and let's also keep in mind, Disney is making their own streaming service as well. So basically what I'm trying to allude to is that Disney is potentially going to be owning two different streaming service platforms, Hulu, and they're also their own upcoming streaming service coming out in 2018. So that is crazy. Disney is going to be owning two different streaming services. And this also puts a lot of competition towards Netflix. I know that you guys are saying that Netflix is the big, it's the big streaming service. But with Disney now owning two different streaming services, Hulu and their upcoming streaming service, it could be some competition towards Netflix. So there's that. And the last thing that I want to talk about is what is going to happen to Fox's television properties. The thing that I can tell you that's going to happen with those television properties is that they're easily going to get pushed towards those streaming services. I would not be surprised if the television properties that they now have, like The Gifted, Legion, Gotham, I would not be surprised if these television properties got pushed towards Disney's upcoming streaming service, and if they became exclusives for these streaming services for like Hulu or something. I would not be surprised, because if Disney wants their upcoming streaming services to gain more attention and want to make more competition towards Netflix, a great thing to do is just to put major Fox shows on those streaming services, like The Gifted, Legion, Gotham. Just put them on those streaming services, and you can make some big competition towards Netflix. So, and again, that's the major reason why Disney bought 20th Century Fox, is because of their streaming services, so they can gain more control over Hulu, and that they could have multiple streaming services. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about what can happen to X-Men, R-rated content, Blue Sky Studios, streaming services, and also Fox's television properties. So, and as I stated, this deal is still in the early stages. This just got announced today, and the transition of all these properties will take 18 months to do. So not until 2019 will certain things, as we mentioned, go into effect. So we will definitely hear more news about this deal in the next upcoming days. But as I stand on the deal itself, I'm still 50-50 about it. I think there's some good things about this deal, and there are also some cons about this deal. And if you guys want to hear my thoughts about how I feel about this deal, I do have a video that I made a few weeks back talking about this deal and giving you guys more of the pros and cons about this deal happening. So if you guys want to go watch that video, I'll leave it over here somewhere. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I just want to give you guys my final thoughts about this whole Disney buying 20th Century Fox. And you guys let me know. What do you think is going to happen to the X-Men? Do you think that they might emerge with MCU? Do you think it might be its own thing? What do you think is going to happen to R-rated content? Do you think that they're not going to do R-rated content, or do they think they're going to have a separate studio for R-rated content, particularly with the Fox properties? What do you think is going to happen to Blue Sky Studios, streaming services, television properties? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below, because we got a lot of unanswered questions about this deal, and I'm pretty sure in the next upcoming days we're going to get more answers. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, as we end these videos, Beau out. See you next time. Peace, and I'll see you tomorrow with my review for Star Wars Last Jedi. Catch you then.